Hi, welcome to Scriptures Unveiled, and today we're going to just answer a question about hearing God.
Yeah. Just a practical way of, because I think there's a lot of people that feel like, do I really hear God? So we're just going to be talking about, a practical ways of how we hear God and just how we were able to, hear God.
Come to start hearing Him.
In a very intimate way where it's not like, all spiritual but just very natural.
Right.
And I know what allowed me to hear God is knowing how to shut down the mind, because it always wants to work. It always wants to be active.
It distracts.
It's very much of a distraction. And although in this world we need the mind to work, I have a job, I work all the time. However, to really hear the heart, where you're hearing from God in the heart, this has to be at rest. It can't be distracted. So although I'm doing my work, I'm not distracted by all of your mind is always jumping up and going in all kinds of directions. And when it's like that, it's really hard to hear the Lord from your heart. And I think both you and I know that as we heard the Lord more from our heart, it was literally our own our own
it sounded
voice.
Like our own voice.
Yes.
It's like a little subtle voice. So we sometimes think of it as especially when I was in darkness or blinded, as my subconscious.
Yes. Yep.
But it's really the Lord.
It's the Lord, and it sounds like us, And the more we shut down the more we can hear that voice of the Lord that sounds like us, because we are Christ, expressed in our own being.
Right.
We can hear from our hearts.
Yeah. So it's that little inward, subtle voice. And like you said, you come into it by just being quiet. And each person has a different way. Some people it's soaking with music. Some people actually focus on the Lord and fall asleep.
True.
Even.
Yes.
And then some just need quiet.
They do.
Some do the yoga.
Yep.
Just things that can blank out your mind and try to keep your mind, subdued.
Yes.
So that you can really hear your inner core. Because like we said before, that mind, our true mind is within us, ourselves. It's inside.
Yes.
And then be led by that voice.
Yes.
that you hear within yourself.
Within yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where we hear God and find God. And God is always affirming who we are. And what I realize is the mind is always telling us who we aren't.
Right. It's the accuser.
It is.
Really messes with our mind. Those accusations.
Yes.
I'm not trying to bring up even Satan, because he's defeated.
He is.
So he's another subject for some other day.
Yes.
But just those accusations come, all the time there.
They do.
Here, he comes against those accusations. This is where spirit and truth is.
It is.
And these are where we believe the lies.
It is. This is a deception, and this is truth. And the heart can never deceive you. And as long as we're hearing from it, it'll always affirm who we are. It'll always affirm our innocence in Christ, the richness, the intimacy we have.
Our righteousness that we
have. The beloved of the Lord.
That we're His beloved.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's well pleased in us. There's no disappointments.
No disappointment.
None.
Whatsoever. Even when we disappoint ourselves or we're beating ourselves up, He's not.
Never. There's no restitution you have to give to the Lord. Nothing. No payback.
Right. And so it's just really, a still in your mind, however that is best for you.
Yeah.
And just allowing the Lord that's in us to literally overtake that mind. It's almost like the mind is that storm. And remember, He said, "Peace, be still."
Yes.
And He walked on the water.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that type of thing. Is that my mind is like the storm.
Yes, it is.
And when I focus on Him, then what happens? And I face to face, heart to heart.
Yeah.
Then He basically says in my spirit, I don't say it.
Yes.
But it's almost like a peace be still.
Yes.
And it overtakes that of the mind.
Yes.
Makes it quiet.
Yes.
So you can really hear Him.
Yes. And be at rest.
And be at rest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that helps some to really hear from the Lord from the heart. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and make a comment.